Let's talk about rough water takeoffs and landings. The rough water landing is, I thought, one of the easiest landings or maneuvers for the seaplane rating. Very similar to a three-point landing on a tailwheel aircraft. You want to come in while you're rounding out in the landing phase. You want to have your power all the way to idle. You want your stick easing all the way back, and then touch down minimum airspeed and kind of a nose high attitude. The rough water takeoff is very similar to a high performance takeoff. You want to accelerate, get up on step or on plane, and then get the airplane off the ground as quick as possible and maintain ground effect, gain some airspeed, and then fly off. And the Super Cub, we use 50 degrees of flaps, and then whenever the airspeed indicator just barely moves off the peg, you'll go ahead and rip full flaps and pull back in time and rip the airplane off the ground. Then hold in a ground effect 2 to 3 or 4 feet off the ground, accelerate, start easing those flaps down to 50%, and then you can start easing them down the rest of the way and start climbing out. Okay, here I am on my rough water landing. I'm coming down, starting to round out. Power's all the way at idle, starting to ease that stick all the way back, touch down the back half of the floats, that nose up in the air, kind of hitting those tall wakes. Now here in Minnesota, like on a bad day, I think the wind's blowing 10 knots when you get this far north in Minnesota, so we didn't really have rough water conditions, so we had to kind of simulate it. So I got to stick all the way back, flaps 50%, increasing full power. Nose comes up once, it comes up twice there, start to ease nose over, get up on step. Now the second I see that airspeed indicator just barely move, I'm going to rip in full flaps and stick back at the same time. There I go. And now I'm off the water and I'm just accelerating in ground effect, and I start easing those flaps out to 50% just as smooth as I can without settling back down in the water. Now they're at 50%, now I can start easing out and continue my climb. Now it's really tough because when you rip in full flaps, that has a tendency to really lower the nose, so that's why you have to go back with the stick to kind of counteract that, and then doing both of that at once will help pop you off the ground really quick. But then you also want to maintain ground effect because you got full flaps, considerable amount of drag, and so you want to maintain ground effect, accelerate out, and start easing out those flaps the best you can, and then climb on out.